Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. Yeah, I went home early yesterday, which is cool. That hasn't happened in a little while. I had to call off last week for Monday because I had to do taxes. But the problem is, yeah, 6 days in a row still sucks. It's like I still don't know how corporations across the world get away with this stuff. I had to do 6 days in a row at my last place. For I shipped here, and then I had a long time ago. I was working for a publishing company. No, they didn't do anything for. They made ads for newspapers basically, and all of a sudden, they're working you 6 days in a row. And trust me, I wasn't making anywhere near what I'm making now, but still. Oh, I'm glad I didn't get hired in there because I'd probably still be in that cesspool. Ugh. But we're here now. You know, Yesterday was the 20th anniversary of New Who. The new era of Doctor Who. And of course, Disney then wants everybody to renumber everything. So now this is technically series two, even though I lost count because you had skipped years, half seasons, and all that garbage. But what gets me is RTD makes a comment a little while ago about, sooner or later he's going to want to move on. He's not getting any younger and there's other projects he wants to do and, things like that. And it's like, of course, everybody's, hopping on the bandwagon. RTD's quit and he's not coming back for series three. And I was like, that's not what he said. Just like, we've got, because the BBC didn't say anything about Ncuti Gatwa, they said the show's not been shelved yet. They didn't mention Ncuti and all that. So Ncuti Gatwa's leaving. Just a whole lot of ass out of you and me going on out there. A whole lot of assumptions. And it just fills me, with dread the fact that you've got people who do nothing but naysay all day long, who are now getting international attention so they can spread the word about how evilly bad everything is in the universe and how it's all pre-programmed to indoctrinate you into some weird world order that blah blah this, blah blah that. Yet back in the day, when people were telling you there was a conspiracy involved in the Kennedy assassination or that Roswell might have actually happened, they'd hand you a tinfoil hat. Ugh. And yet, how many years was it before we finally found out that, yep, something did go on, for the Kennedy assassination? And I'm loving how I watched this podcast not long ago trying to discredit Colonel Jesse Marcel, who was in Major Jesse Marcel. And I'm like, watching this and I'm like going, dude, you're literally pulling things out of your ass. If I wanted to watch people pull things out of their ass, that's the kind of video I don't like to watch. It's like, ugh. Yeah, I still don't like the one. Yeah, the guy was trying to say the moon was a giant soul collection machine for the Greys, and it's like, yeah, if you want to believe a guy who was a CIA pilot for how many years, sorry, once you're in the alphabet soup, you're always in the alphabet soup. That's on you. But I just love how people keep making things up. The suit, this, ongoing agenda that everything they've declared woke must fail. It's like, folks, the Acolyte didn't fail because it was woke. The Acolyte failed because nobody liked it. All right? I have no dog in that fight because I didn't watch it. There was a lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody disliked it. But But from what I'm hearing and I've seen around, the storyline was just ridiculous. Also, let me see what else went on. I even heard Darth Plagueis appeared in that, and I'm like, wow, mention a guy's name in one of the prequel movies, and all of a sudden, boom, it's guaranteed that character is going to show up somewhere. It's like, see what else was going on. Like I said, I had never watched The Acolyte. I have no dog in that fight. I tried watching Ahsoka. It did not pique my interest at all. I was like, it was basically the Rebels reunion episodes. And it's like, then they bring in Ezra and he's like Space Jesus. I'm like, and now Sabine has force powers out of nowhere that never existed before. Meanwhile, none of the other characters show up. It's not that I'm a misogynist, but the only male, other than the one child, who's, by the way, Kanan Jarrus' son, that's on the main cast, is David Tennant, and he's a droid. And I'm like, talk about, where is the diversity here? I don't see it. Andor, I never got into either. It's like, here's the thing. I started watching Young Sheldon. I did not like The Big Bang Theory, but I do like Young Sheldon. But it's still amazing me that we can't come up with new and original characters. But we got to do, prequel stories for characters, no one gave a rat's ass about. It's just, I don't know. I'm going to give Andor another shot. The problem is I don't want to get invested in a character I know is going to croak at the end of the one movie. Like Better Call Saul. I know what happens to Saul Goodman. Why do I care what happened in the past? Yeah, it feels like its own show to me. But Doctor Who, like I said, there's been no talks of cancellation. There's been no official press release that Ncuti Gat was leaving the show. There's been, matter of fact, as you said, he was on Jimmy Fallon last night. They were on Good Morning America. But of course, because none of the main cast, Verada Sethu or Ncuti Gatwa, are of the Caucasian persuasion, it is now woke, diversified, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I don't care if the Doctor is purple with screaming green fluorescent polka dots. Just like I didn't care if the Doctor had a wiener or not, back when the show, Jodie Whittaker was on the show. But that seemed to become the plague of all existence. And of course, Chibnall became the worst writer in the known universe because he dared do something that none of the other showrunners had the balls to do till now. Just like some of these reviews, or the comments I read on some of these videos, I'm like, yet you're still, I'm so tempted just to type in the reply, yet you're still watching the show. Because some of the stuff I read, the Doctor was never meant to be gay, blah, blah. I'm like, have you been watching the same show that I have? It's not that the Doctor's gay, but Eccleston, Barrowman kissed all the way back when, in 2005. They didn't really lean the Doctor one way or another, and I don't think Gat was really doing that either. Anybody can, if a gay man can come on and he can easily portray a gay man, he does not have to act, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Really? But of course, they'll bring on another doctor someday, and they still whine and complain about that because it generates clicks. Yeah, that's the thing I love about how Jody was the worst thing to happen to the show. But like I said, when I went to meet her in Columbus, remember, this is Columbus, Ohio. All right. I don't know, but in Lima, the whole time I've been here, 10 years, I've met two Whovians, I think, in 10 years. And yet, boom. Her show was not only packed, I think they overbooked it. Her autograph thing sold out, her photo op sold out. But she's hated, it's disgusting, blah, blah, blah. And then the one year I was at Chicago TARDIS, there were more people cosplaying Jodie Whittaker than there were any of the other doctors put together. It's like, but she's hated by the fans. Chibnall has destroyed the show. You know, and they begged for RTD to come back. Now, RTD isn't dancing on the end of their string either. And, ugh. It's like, I feel sorry for anybody who takes on this show. I really do. Because look at all the love they've given. They gave RTD towards the end of his first run. Then they ganged up on Moffat. Moffat's the Messiah. And then they ganged up on him. There were threats of physical violence against him and his family over a television show. And then Chibnall steps in and he becomes the most hated person in the universe. Because he did something right off the bat that they did not like. I know, it's just boggles the mind, doesn't it? But a lot of you already know this, but I want to pass it on for you new people. Moffat said a long time ago, Doctor Who has become a poison chalice. It really, sure, it's a great show and all that, but nobody wants to run it, in other words. Because no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what vision you bring, it's not, it's the old saying, you're never going to satisfy everybody all the time. But the problem is we now live in the age of social media where people will turn that into a crusade. Just imagine, the Nardi, the drunkard, and all his usual cohorts out there, like, it'd be like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, they'd be like, we must go unto the castle and bring forth the perfect showrunner with the perfect storyline and the perfect cast. Oh. I'm not kidding. Even if they said, Brian, you just got to sit down, give us some general ideas, and we'll pay you like a couple hundred. Well, here's the other thing people don't realize. British actors on British shows, especially for the BBC, do not get paid a whole lot compared to American actors. We're talking maybe 300 to 500K, pounds a year. And when you compare that to some actors over here, by the way, like the cast of Friends, who are still making millions of dollars off that show decades later because of residuals. Not to mention, I think a lot of them were getting paid $1 million an episode. Now compare that to 500K pounds a year. Yeah, and Capaldi, I think, even took a pay cut compared to the others. It ranged around there. Kind of like when they wanted to do one more series of House. They didn't bring back one of the principal actors, Lisa Edelstein, and Hugh Laurie took like a 200K episode per episode pay cut, something like that, just so they could finish out that last season. And I'm like, so he was still making like $700,000, $800,000 an episode. Now, and now everyone's like, why are there so many British actors on American television and an American film? Because they're looking for money. That, and chances are, they got the talent, they deserve it. I just can't imagine what Jodie's making on all these projects she's doing now compared to what she made on Doctor Who. Kind of like, I know Matt Smith's probably making a ton more than he did per episode on than he did when he was on Doctor Who for, what do you call it, House of the Dragon. So, what can you do? It's 2025. It's now been 20 years since the new show came. We've received no word that the show's being canceled. And like I said, all I heard about was, this Christmas special was the lowest rated ever in Doctor Who history. And I go, and it beat Strictly Come Dancing, which means if you'd done any comparative, figures and actually looked at everything else's overnight ratings, you'd realize how much of an imbecile you look like right now. Oh, man. But what can you do? Like I said, there's been no official word on anything being canceled. There's been no official word on Ncuti leaving. And all I know is we got the new series coming up here very shortly. We'll just sit back and enjoy it. Let them rant, bang their keyboards, and smack their heads against the wall. I'm not kidding. They should film that stuff, of these guys getting together and complaining. It'd be like watching Chimp Empire. I'm not kidding. It was, oh, well. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm getting inside. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And we will, that's right, this Saturday we will be here, unfortunately. So you're getting a bonus episode again this week. So see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take care, everybody.